Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cities Skylines Mass Transit. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back here in the beautiful city of NERDSHIRE, where things, admittedly, could be going a little bit better. We're not quite making money at the moment. I mean, we have 8.3 million. I'm not that worried. We've got 143,000 people living here. We do, however, have no demand for anything. And a few people were keen to point out last time that Demand Master will do that, and apparently it's a permanent thing. I disagree. I've seen the demand come up after using Demand Master in other saves. It's just going to take a bit of time. So today what I'd like to do is I'd like to focus on expanding out this way a little bit. I've already done some work over here in Sunset Hills. But I'm not that worried about Demand Master potentially keeping the demand in the city down for a while. Because, let's be honest, for the last while, there's not been that much of a challenge being presented here in NERDSHIRE. We have had enough money to do sort of anything we want. The population's been up there. We haven't unlocked everything yet. We still have things to do, but for the most part, money hasn't been a big concern, and we've just been building creatively. Now, I would like to keep managing the city. That's not me saying that I'm going to turn this series into an unlimited money one or anything like that. But the management has been a little bit, lacking for the last little while. So I do want to get back to that. It's just that maybe today we might have to focus a little bit more on expanding over here and making these areas look good. I do, of course, want to get more industrial zoning in here because we are still having issues throughout the city. And what I'm thinking I might actually do is put some industrial zoning over here. But what I'd also like to do to start today's episode is I'd like to go ahead and start expanding out this way a little bit. So we're going to go, something like that just to begin with. Then we're going to curve it a bit that way. And then what I'm going to do is actually turn it into this road here, a two-way highway. And the reason for that is quite simple. Actually, you know what? Let's go a little bit further here. Let me see if I can get this to line up with this. So it's going to go there. It's going to go like that, right? So it's going to come down like that. We're going to use that as another marker to come down to right there. We'll get rid of those bits. And this is sort of going to curve out and meet that road up there. So this can sort of go straight that way. Then we'll curve it a little bit like that. And then curve it up sort of, let's see, can I get this to line up nicely? Yes, I can. So it's going to curve around like that. And what I'm going to do is basically link all of this, we'll bring that back a little bit, to the highway over here. Now, obviously, that might cause some issues with traffic, but my thinking is that that's such a long road out there that it's probably not going to be a huge issue. So while I'm going ahead and bulldozing all of these roads, I'd like to take a moment to just talk about why exactly the videos for this last little while, I'll not say the last couple of days, it has been more than just a couple of days, or videos haven't been as regular as I frequently promise they will be. And as I frequently say they will be. Well, earlier today, if you're watching this video on the day that goes out, if not, then just look in the channel, you'll find out when it was. But earlier today, based on when you're watching this, of course, I posted a video. It was a vlog. It was talking about just some stuff that I've been thinking about recently, and that basically explains why the videos have been weird. It's nothing really major. Nothing is horrendously wrong. I've just not really felt 100% with a lot of the work that I've been doing for a while, and that's no fault of the view. That's no fault of you guys. It's nothing like that. I've just not really felt like I'm putting on as good a show as I'd like to be. So I wanted to take some time over the last sort of 6-ish weeks to really just work on me and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I don't like thinking that I'm running on autopilot. We'll put it that way. I don't like thinking that I'm running an autopilot, and I feel like for the last little while, that's actually exactly what I've been doing. I've just been making videos for the sake of making videos. I've not been making videos because they're real. I mean, I enjoy them, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make it sound like I don't enjoy my job. I love my job to bits. If I allowed myself to swear here on the channel, I'd really go into expressing just how much I feckin' love my job. Believe that sounded sarcastic. It wasn't. Oh, I'm digging myself into a hole. The point is, I was worried that I wasn't giving it my all. I was worried that I wasn't making videos to the standard I want to be making videos. And I was worried that I was potentially being dishonest. I was just freaking out a little bit, and I have been for a while, but I'm working on it. I'm feeling a bit better. Today is a new day, and I'm really working hard to get the channel back up to where it should be. I know a lot of new people have come around these last couple of weeks and months who maybe don't remember a day when there were 2, sometimes 3 videos a day, but I'm working to get back to that, and that's my plan. Anyway, that conversation was perfectly timed because we're not done with this little road here. Now, obviously, we may run into a slight issue with the end of it here, so I'm going to just adjust that slightly. And what I'm going to do is put a roundabout in there because I'd like to make sure that we're in a spot where we're not necessarily going to have to, let me turn off road guidelines. I want to make sure we're in a spot where people can, if they need to, turn and go back, basically. So I want people to be able to get to the end of this road and be like, okay, all right, that's all well and good. Let's go back. Because if they can't do that, then they kind of have to go out onto the highway, and I don't want people going out that way if they don't have to. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. So curve that in a little bit. That's going to go around. So no, it just means that at this point you can get to here and you can sort of go the whole way around if you want to head back to the city, and that's going to be a pretty good thing. It is also nice seeing, you know, 1 or 2 vehicles using this road. There's some that are using that road to get out of the city. I imagine that road might get a bit busier. But what I want to do is try and put some industrial space just over here a little bit as well. And sort of maybe just bring it out a little bit further and just make this area a bit more dense in terms of the industry that's here. Because if we can do that and maybe even connect it to this roundabout, we might be able to get some of the traffic to, some of the industrial traffic, which is really backing up over here, to go elsewhere. Now, we are running into a slight issue with traffic at the moment where there's so much industry coming out of here that it's backing up a bit. It's mostly backing up here because traffic's just trying to merge everywhere. It is also backing up this way. And generally, we're just having issues. There's a lot of issues with not enough goods getting to the city, mostly up this way because that is quite far away from an industrial zone. So, well, actually, you know what? It's not actually that far away now that I think about it. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. We'll not worry about it too much, though. We're just going to focus on expanding and making this area look good. So, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to maybe turn this area here into another sort of square for a sort of mole-looking thing. Try and turn this into like almost a retail park kind of thing, which, I mean, I'm going to be honest, would require many, many more parking lots. Some of you may be happy about that. Some of you may be slightly less happy. I can sort of understand why, don't get me wrong. I know the parking lots for some people are horrendous looking. I know some people really aren't fans of those. I like them, personally. I think they're fun. And I do want to continue using them, which is why I'm building this area just over here, because that's what that area is going to be, let's be honest. Yeah, I like the parking lots. I know they're not the prettiest looking thing. I know some people want me to use proper parks, but I'm using them in a way that I think just makes this area feel a little more open. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode itself or if I mentioned it in the comments, but I'm sort of basing it on the idea that in the heart of a city, you don't really see parking lots. Now, hold on a minute before you correct me on that. Yes, I'm well aware I've got parking lots over here and over here, but bear with me. What I mean is, in the heart of a lot of cities, you don't always see parking lots. You often see multi-story car parks or underground parking because the land is too valuable to give to just a concrete feel. A field is maybe not the right word, but do you get what I mean? The land's too valuable, so you put a building on it. Out this way, land is a little bit more affordable. Land isn't quite as valuable, so you can sort of get away with throwing down a couple of parking lots. That's kind of the point I'm making. So, out this way, that's a fine thing to do, put down some parking lots. Anyway, that's the difference I'm trying to make. Land out here is not as valuable, which is why more of it's a bit open. I will put some trees in a lot of this area to make it look a bit more decorative as well, but essentially, I'm just going for a different feel out here. And that is a feeling that the land is a little more open. You wouldn't necessarily find an area this open in the middle of the city, or like this. So that's I'm intentionally trying to make something that feels different. And again, I know not everybody is a big fan of my parking lots, but it's what I'm going for. I'm going for something that I quite like. So, let's see what else we can throw out here. We have this big area of parking. I didn't really think about what building was going to go there. The Posh Mall could be kind of cool. Although, unfortunately, it won't actually go central. What else have we got? We've got the Colossal Order offices. We have a courthouse. I don't think the courthouse is what we'll go for. The Grand Library. We have the Opera House. The Opera House could be kind of interesting. That could definitely be an interesting one. Going past the Opera House on the train would be really interesting to see. So if we throw the Opera House there, I mean, I know it's way out of the city. Don't get me wrong. I know it's way out there. It is also by an industrial zone, now that I think about it. No, I think the Opera House needs to go down by the water. So the Opera House, no. Pyramid of Safety, not so much. We have got the Science Center and the Aquarium, both of which could be kind of fun outside of the city. Is that central? That is the real question here. Let's find out. Is it central? The trees are really making it difficult to tell if it's central, so let's get rid of those for a second. 4 on that side, 4 on that side. Yeah, the Aquarium is actually central. And you know what? I think it's an interesting enough looking building that it is gonna go there. I think that's fine. So the Aquarium is gonna go, you know, out of the city, just quite a bit, admittedly, and we're just gonna sort of surround it with roads. We're gonna surround it with parking, and people are gonna be so mad. Oh, people are gonna be so mad. Just gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, parking's going in here, doing that kind of thing. So let's just mirror that slightly on this side. So just like so. It goes up to there. We leave a bit of a gap. We do that as well. And it works. I think if we can get a lot of people out to the Aquarium, which I absolutely will, I'm going to have some buses coming out here. I think if we can get a lot of people coming out this way, it's going to look really, really good. I don't like that bit. And I realize that's completely unnecessary. So we're just going to have a path that goes through there. We'll put some trees in there. And I think we'll put one more line of parking here and then some normal buildings. And hopefully that'll be okay for those of you that aren't fans of my parking. So there we go. We'll put some of this stuff in here. I realize I probably should be leaving a gap of 3 right at the end there. So bulldoze all of these guys. And then a gap of 3 at the end, I think, was what was needed. Yes, it was, because they go at the end like that. So there we go. We can hopefully have a lot of people coming out to the aquarium to see the fish. Hopefully. Because if we don't, then this is going to look really, really silly being completely abandoned. Although, as I've said many times, parking lots are technically parks that people want to go to for whatever reason. So we should see quite a decent number of people coming out this way. Now let's go ahead and maybe instead of buildings, we could do the Botanical Gardens. We could do, oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can do that, right? One there. And in the middle, we could do a botanical if we wanted to. We could do something like that. But I think what I'll try and do in the middle is actually make my own sort of park area, so it looks like these two are going to be connected together, because what I can do is that right there, which is pretty cool. Bring that straight through so people can cross straight over to the aquarium. And I think that looks all right. So let's maybe line some of this space with a few more trees. We'll put like a couple of the slightly bigger ones in the middle. I'll get a few of these sort of along there a little bit. Sort of like that. And we'll go just up like this a little bit. And we're just going to make it look like the area is all just one park with a lot of different sized trees, not perfectly positioned, but I think that's all right. So basically, we're hopefully going to see a lot of people go into the aquarium. I also realize might very well want to go ahead and just get some grass in some of those roads. Otherwise, people are going to be parking on the roads, and that's actually what we want to avoid, because the less space they have to park on roads, the more they're going to go ahead and use the parking lots. And I think I'm going to try and not place another parking lot this episode, because I've said the word parking lot way too many times thus far for an episode that's only 15 minutes in. So, there we go. The aquarium's done. That area is looking pretty cool. And hopefully we'll see tourists come out this way. In fact, what we could do is actually put a bus out to here. So maybe we'll have a bus that goes like direct from... Maybe we go direct from Central to the aquarium. I know that's a very specific place to go, but I don't think it would hurt. So a bus that sort of comes in and goes like there, and then goes back. Yeah, I think that's all right. So that's going to be the aquarium line. We'll go ahead and just change the color on that a little bit. I don't know. It's that one, isn't it? It's these two lines actually need to be more blue. So those two lines are going to be a bit more blue. There we go. And that seems fine to me. All right. So hopefully we'll see people head out there. I think we will put some buildings along this bit here, just to fill it up a little bit. It is going to need to be a district as well, so let's start painting that in slightly. We'll pause while we do this so we don't potentially mess anything up. Straight down there and across this road and up like so. And we'll just go ahead and paint this in. We can name it something like NERDSHIRE Aquarium, because I think that'll be fine. Keep it simple. No point getting too complex in the names there. Just fill that up slightly to make the zoning work the way I want it to. Get rid of all that, get rid of that, and Garnet Square will become NERDSHIRE AQU Aquarium. I think that's Aquarium. Style's going to be European, and we're going to need a couple of policies on this. So we're going to go for Big Business Benefactor, and I think we'll go for Encourage Biking. I think we'll go for High-Rise Ban, and I think that'll be fine. So let's get some zoning just along there. Maybe not quite that bit though. And that should be fine. We'll hopefully see that fill up eventually. I mean, we can actually click on this and see where the demand is for everything. It is currently at -2, and 0. Which means that at the moment, as buildings get destroyed, as they get abandoned, they're not necessarily going to rebuild. But the fact that these numbers are coming up to 0 and 1 and 2 has me a little bit positive. I'm thinking positively. I'm thinking that we are eventually going to see some of this rebuild. It's just going to take some time. You have to remember, a lot of this area is abandoning again. And a lot of this area was originally abandoned. I forced all of this to rebuild. So that is, you know, that's going to happen. And of course, the reason for that was, if you don't remember, to get all of this to build. Basically, I changed the style of all of this space into the European style, and I was impatient. I didn't want to sit around and wait for it to rebuild, so that's what's going to happen there. Anyway, we have this area here. I'm thinking we'll actually go ahead and just expand that district a little bit further up to here, because we can do some interesting stuff in this space around here. We'll bring this all the way across, bring it onto the train line, and sort of just follow that down a little bit. There we go. Something just a bit like that should absolutely do the job. Right, let's get that back off of the avenue. Let's get it back off of that avenue as well, even though the old town policy is not on. I just like my districts to be nice and neat, as you can see. I love how the districts look around here. They are so neatly done, and I just love that. Anyway, what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll go ahead and throw in some relatively high density buildings along that road there. But behind that, I kind of like the idea of having just some regular roads. Or some regular zoning. So this can sort of come in to, say, there. And this can sort of go this way a little bit. And I'm just thinking that we can basically get something here. If I use road guidelines as well, I can get that to be a little bit more parallel, which I don't know if we necessarily want, but I can sort of bring that across. I can delete that and bring that straight through. And what we have is just a little space for some housing, which I really like. It's keeping it really, really simple. So that'll come down to there, and that can come down to there a bit. We'll put some paths around it. We'll put some trees around it, maybe. We'll see what we do. But I think that'll be quite nice. So let's bring a path from there. Bring it through here. And to about there. It's going to be a little bit weird at the end there, actually. Let's just tweak that a little bit. We'll not bother with that. Let's see. So that connects quite nicely. I wonder if I could get that to work better. There we go. So there we go. That sort of just weaves around there a little bit. That's going to go like that. Does get rid of that corner bit, which I'm not a huge fan of. So up to there and to there. Beautiful. Bring a path through there as well, perhaps. And maybe this just comes straight across. And this one can sort of come straight across as well. Maybe like that actually would be a bit better. And I like that. I think that'll work. We can get a nice little bit of zoning in there. We'll go for low density housing. Because it is just out of the way a little bit. And I like that a lot. As for this road, a bit of low density commercial will certainly do the job. And I like that. I think that fills in the space really nicely. You've got the aquarium just over there. It'll be behind some buildings. So these guys won't actually see it. They'll just see the back of some taller buildings, which I think is fine. So that's going to take some time to build up again. As I've been saying this whole time, it is just going to, it's seriously going to take its time, but we can just focus on the layout and all that stuff of these areas. So now that NERDSHIRE Aquarium's done, I do want to start working on what's going to go out here, because a lot of this needs to just be residential, needs to be like suburbs and all that kind of stuff. But I do like the idea of maybe surrounding this area here with a little bit more industry. So what I'm thinking is I can go ahead and bring this kind of road here off of really anywhere along this bit. So that could go, 10 units that way and then, 20 and curve. So it's just going to come out a little bit into that space, and that road is going to sort of go directly to an industrial space. This isn't going to be connected to any of the houses that we may put in here. So there is going to be an industrial space almost visible from the aquarium, probably visible from some houses, but I think the positioning of the, oh wow, that traffic's really having trouble there. Like really, really having trouble there. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. We'll figure that out. We'll get back to that. Anyway, I've slightly lost my train of thought there. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. So we're just going to go ahead and sort of bring... I think I am going to go for just sort of a rectangular industrial space back here. I think I like the idea of keeping it relatively simple. I don't think it needs to be anything too complex. So something just a bit like that. So the traffic's going to be encouraged to go around it. Then maybe we do some sort of dead-end roads in here. So something a bit like that. Something a bit like that. Up to there, down to there. And I think what we can do is just make something that's going to be kind of interesting, really. It's not going to have... it's the one-way road going around it is going to be kind of important. So that goes to there. That goes... Oh, not quite like that. That goes to there, and that goes to there. That could actually go up through the middle as well, which is kind of cool. That's very tempting, actually, to have a one-way, sort of two-way road going up through the middle there. You know what? I might do that and just see what happens. Because I think that's an interesting-looking area. What's more, if I really wanted to, I could throw some No, I said I wouldn't say it again. I said I wouldn't say the P word again, so we're not gonna. Let's just go ahead and fill all of this up. I think I would like to put some offices just sort of along there a little bit to hide it. Although maybe I wouldn't. Maybe we'll not do that. We'll put some industry on the edges. Sort of like that. We'll just do industry around the edges of the whole thing. So the whole thing is going to be industry. And then what I'm going to do is use some, just some curves to sort of bring the industry to an end. So it's going to come out like this a little bit, and we're just going to bring it out and around so that that pathway is going to sort of mark the sort of boundaries of that industrial area. So it's very, very obvious where it goes, where it ends, just all of that kind of stuff. So bring this out and sort of along the highway a little bit. I think that would be an interesting path to walk for sure. Just out and around the highway a little bit. We'll bring this in like this as well. So to there and like that. Again, just sort of marking the boundaries of where the industrial area is. I think it'd be kind of nice to put some trees along that path at some point as well. But, I mean, what's this? This is part 29, if I'm not mistaken. So the plan, I think, will be to... Next episode will be a normal one, and then I think part 31 onwards, I'm going to have a couple more mods installed. So I can use, like, the tree brush and all that stuff to really get a lot of that stuff out of there. So if I don't want the trees, I don't need the trees, basically. Anyway, let's go ahead and start bringing... a few more roads out this way. I don't think this desperately needs a curve in it just yet, but I kind of like the idea of doing just a little one. So if I turn off road guidelines, we can sort of just go, if I turn off angle as well, sort of like that, I think. Just something kind of subtle, something kind of simple, kind of does the job. I also really like the idea that we're going to have the buildings still relatively close together. I don't think they should be really, really far apart. So we're going to try and get this all to be zoned somewhat densely. This is sort of the first little step towards the less dense zoning outside of the city. I've mentioned it already. I was talking about how this is all, you know, one step in that direction, but this I feel is a little bit further away from the city. Just in the sense that it's on a road that leaves the city. It's on a road that has this industrial area. It's maybe not as nice of an area for the city as well. I think it's an interesting road. So that can come out to there. This is going to... Ooh, interesting. That doesn't quite line up exactly the way I'd like it to. Okay, maybe we'll turn angles back on, because that's starting to look a little bit messy. And maybe we'll stick with the sort of... Not grid... We'll stick with the not grid system. I think that's what we'll call it. The not grid system. So... That's gonna come off of there. Just like that. And that's fine. I then want it to go that way and that way. That way and that way. Because what I can do is I can bring these roads off the sides a little bit. It's still sort of gonna look like a grid, don't get me wrong. But the important thing is that I can, you know, cut through this area with pedestrian paths. I can do all that kind of stuff. That road there could actually connect straight through if I wanted it to, which I sort of don't want it to. Well, maybe just fix the zoning, not with that. Fix the zoning there a little bit. And this just here could go sort of like that, and sort of like that as well. Let's see. Maybe that comes up to here as well. Bit of a nightmare area to navigate, isn't it? I mean, just looking at it, it's not going to be the easiest neighborhood to get around. Do some trees in that road, though, then downgrade to grass, and then just normal roads, I think. Should be totally fine. Let's go ahead and fill it up, then, with low-density residential zoning. And let's get some pedestrian paths coming through these areas. So that's going to go to there. That's going to go to there, and I want those ones to sort of cut across. So the houses are going to be differently shaped, differently sized, all that kind of stuff. I think that'll be fine. That's going to go to there. Oh, by the way, in the background you'll hear talking. I saw a couple people asking about that. That's the radio in-game, basically. The radio DJ, I guess. Is it still a radio DJ? That's still like the term for someone that does radio, right? I'm not, like, so out of touch that, like, radio has become popular again or something. Please tell me radio is not popular again. I really don't like the radio. Just in general. I mean, I like radio as a concept. I think, like, you know, radios are interesting when you're talking about, like, you know, the old school kind of radio. But I don't know. I'm not interested enough in, like, this is gonna sound so hipster. This is gonna sound like the most hipster thing I've ever said. Now, well, not the most hipster thing I've ever said, but one of the most hipster things I've said in a while. I really don't like just mainstream radio. TV I can tolerate. Like, I don't mind TV. It's just something about, like, mainstream radio is just so fake to me. There's just something about it. I think part of it is, like, the fact that they're all trying to, like, make memes a thing for people that don't really know what a meme is, in a way. Like, that annoys me when, like, when you see, like, news channels talking about, like, memes or something, or, like, the radio's talking about, yeah, we made a meme. I just don't know if I like that. That's kind of the gist of it. I just feel like they should stop. That's kind of it, really. Just stick with music, stick with interviewing famous people, and leave the memes to the internet. Because I'm not, you know, I like... Why am I talking about memes? Like, I'm having a conversation. Fundamentally, I've said this before, fundamentally my job is to sit in a room and talk to myself, right? I'm now fundamentally having a conversation with myself where I'm arguing about how valid memes are in relation to mainstream media. It sounds like one of those TED Talks you watch where you're like, why is this guy doing a TED Talk? That's kind of me. That's kind of what's going on here. You're probably watching this going, why is this guy just what is this? So if you're new around here and you're curious if this is what every video is like, it kind of is, really. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said this wasn't normal. I do frequently go off topic. And I don't know if I'm even sorry about it, really. I don't think I am. So you're welcome, internet. Anyway, we'll throw a park just in there. I think I will put more trees around this area eventually. I think that'll look really nice. I like the idea of having a park in there. I think I will continue some low density stuff just along this road a little bit. Kind of like that. And then just more trees, really. In fact, what I think I'll do is go in with the tree brush. Not the tree brush, but just the trees in general. And just throw a bunch of them sort of in and just around the train tracks there. So that the train tracks are going to be slightly more hidden away from the houses and all that stuff. Just so that it's not quite as loud for the residents. Realistically, so it's not quite as loud for the residents. In-game, it's not really going to make much of a difference, but... I think the train tracks would have denser trees along them anyway. That's kind of how that's going to work. Also, that's just path in general. I just want to be quite dense with trees as well. So that when that area does eventually build up, which I'm going to be honest, may eventually be built via Demand Master. If it doesn't really start working anytime soon, which it might not, we'll see. But I just think something like that, you know, we have this much more dense tree line, very sort of noticeable tree line. I think that's going to be good stuff for when this area does start building. Also, this has started building, so we are seeing some actual development, which is really good news because I really didn't think we would. So that's kind of promising. Can I turn on angle snapping for a second? So angle snapping is on, right? I want this to go around here. Just a bit like that, and then down to there. And straight through the middle like that. So that's fine. And that can go to there. And yeah, I think at this point we just need that area to sort of build up a little bit. And while we're waiting on that building, well, I said while we're waiting on a building, while we're sort of done with that and waiting for it to build, I want to come over here and just start filling up all of this with low density residential as well. Because I might as well, really. That's what all of this is eventually going to be. So that's all going to be low density residential. Along here is going to be some low density commercial space, which I think is going to be totally fine. All of that is going to be the same. There is some high density stuff around there. That's totally fine. Over here is kind of probably going to be the same. But I'm looking at this area and I'm actually thinking that I'm gonna say the P word. I'm thinking I want to put some parking lots in here. And I'm not thinking it needs it. I think I just want to have a bit of differentiation in front of some of these buildings where we do have some parking lots. You know, I like the idea that we would have them sort of around here a little bit. I think they would make sense in certain areas to have parking lots near the commercial buildings, and it's going to be a nice break in, you know, just a line of buildings. So let's throw that in there. Let's throw that in there. Just like that. And that'll be fine. This bit here I think could be potentially commercial as well. I think that'll be fine as well. And then the rest of this I think is just going to be low density residential too. And obviously it's not going to build for a while. It's going to take a considerable amount of time to get that all built up as we have zoned a lot of things today, but I'm most definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with all of this. So we'll go ahead and get some low density commercial there. We'll bring a bit, you know what, we'll throw some office, no, because they'll be quite tall. They'll stand out quite a bit. That little road there, that's going to be residential right there, that little corner. Just like that, just to break things up a little bit, and the rest of that's going to be commercial. So that is probably a bit too much commercial for that area, if we're being honest. So maybe this road through the middle is also going to be made up of some residential stuff too. I feel like that's a bit better. It's definitely less kind of divided, which is a very good thing. So we'll see how that turns out. We actually have some buildings popping up in here as well, so I'm excited for that. The demand is fluctuating quite a bit, which is kind of to be expected. We are making money. We do have 162,000 people, so this is actually, you know, it's not going terribly. I'm surprised that the money's coming in again. I didn't think it would. I thought it might take a bit longer for that to happen. This road here is actually still getting some use, which is beautiful to see. I'm really glad that we are seeing people coming down around here, because I was concerned they wouldn't. Anyone using the bus line? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You are all, well, mostly tourists. I mean, that's what we want, isn't it? That is exactly what we want right there. A bunch of tourists coming in and visiting the aquarium. How many people are going to get off of that? Quite a few as well. All right. Not bad at all. And how many buses do we have on line 28? 10 vehicles. A lot of which are actually full. I feel like we might want to get more on that. Let's go up to 15 vehicles and see how that goes for that bus line. I'm really, really curious. I'm also curious in general about the numbers on my public transport line. So 12,500 on the metro, which is fine. If we have a look at that, the most popular line is carrying 2,000 people. Then my purple line, metro line 33. This one, the purple line up and down there is remarkably popular, which is beautiful. Some of the horizontal lines as well. So the metro is definitely working the way I want it to. And I do still want to change up public transport at some point. I want to go through at some point and get rid of all of my buses and have them sort of just go places. Because they still kind of don't. Let's be honest, the buses still don't really go anywhere. Also, this thing is criminally underused right now. We are gonna focus on this again very shortly once a lot of this area has been expanded out into. Because I absolutely want to have like a train station way out here so you can go from the suburbs into the city. I'm actually thinking the international airport could actually sort of go up here. That's a definite option. Although maybe it would make much more sense to have it like out here, because there's kind of this valley here where the planes would come through, and it's quite far away from the city, so we could potentially connect it up to the highway. My worry, of course, would be that no one would go to it, but we'll see about that, and we'll see what happens. So what I think I'll do for the time being is I'm going to leave this area right here for now. We're going to come back to that eventually. You probably thought I was about to say we're going to wrap up the episode there. Not just yet, because I want to get around to finishing this bit. This bit here has just been abandoned for a while, and once I think we finish this, we can go ahead and expand into here. we can get this bit finished as well. So this whole lake is going to look like it's surrounded in buildings, which is important. And I'm also kind of thinking I'd like to maybe put something really cool on this island. I've had a lot of people saying that we should go ahead and put the... Where is it? This thing right here. The space shuttle launch site could go on this island. And I actually kind of agree. I think that'd be really, really cool to have out here. Not realistic in the slightest, don't get me wrong. But really, really cool to have like the space shuttle launch from an island in the middle of this lake. It's a bit silly, but I think it could look cool. So we'll see how that goes. We could call it like Shuttle Island or something. You know, just to keep it simple. But we'll see about that. What I think we'll do to begin with, though, is we're going to just start building out this way. And we're going to see if we can just, you know, fill up a lot of this space along the highway to just make it look a bit more dense. That's kind of what we're going for. So that's going to come across to there. It's going to go to under the highway and back to that. And that's going to come up to there. That road there actually will leave a gap, unfortunately. So maybe we get rid of this one and bring it to there and there. Bringing that up a little bit. And that's going to leave a gap too, which I'm not hugely keen for, but I wonder if this will go straight under. Oh, it absolutely will. Beautiful. So that right there is going to give us a connection where people can walk through to this side, which I think will be quite nice. And that's going to fill up that area really, really well. So let's get ourselves a path going to there. A pathway, a roadway going to there. We could turn that into a junction at the corner. I don't think we need to. I think that can come straight out and we'll just start filling up this area much in the same way that we did the other one. So bring that along a bit and bring that out there. We'll bring this... We could bring that down. I don't know if I want to. I think I'd like to make sure that this is all really, really nice and dense. Just like that. That's going to come out to... Oh, that'll actually go straight under there, which is quite nice. I wonder if I could get those two to connect. No, doesn't look like it. That would... doesn't look like that would actually work. Maybe I will connect that up. And then bring a little pathway through here. So that's... It doesn't quite connect, but just so that we have something, you know? So that can go to there. We can maybe connect that to there. Sort of awkward, but it'll do the job. And that can go there. So yeah, that fills up that area really well as well. That's a lot of uses of the word well, but there you go. This can come down. It's going to be a little bit awkward because we're not getting away from the angle of the highway a bit more. We've got this road down here, which is a bit awkward to deal with, but if we can get some good zoning in here, I'm not too worried. As long as this looks like it's a really built up part of the city, it really isn't going to matter. This bit here is going to be really difficult though. Really, really difficult. I think we might have to go with that. I think that's honestly the best we're going to get. Then that can go to there as well. So you know what? That does the job. That absolutely does the job. We're going to have to figure out what kind of district this is going to be, though. That's for sure, because we don't want it to just be some random good-for-nothing district. Definitely needs to have a purpose. Could that go to there? Yes, it could. So I think we'll do that as well. There we go. Then this little space in here, I'd kind of like it to just be... If we turn off the grid snapping, I want these roads to just sort of go right up to the end there. We're just going to put a bunch of them in. Very similar to what we've done elsewhere with the keys. Just in an effort to have the roads and thus the buildings follow the curvature of the key. So just kind of like that. And I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and start getting some zoning in there. Let's also figure out what kind of area it's actually going to be. I think, you know what? I think it's all going to be Primrose. I think that'd be nice to have this whole thing with the Primrose district. Hold on a minute. Ooh, I wonder if I could get that to go straight through. That'd be really nice. I know that this might be tricky to replace the curves here, but get rid of all that for a second. Get rid of that road for a second. And let's go ahead and just turn this into a grass-lined 4-lane avenue straight through to there. let's connect that up. And let's see if we can make this happen. So I think what's going to be best is taking this right back to the curve there for a second. Which means we're about to lose that element of the highways following the curve that we have here. Which is a little bit unfortunate, if we're honest, but that's just going to be the case of it. That's just going to be what has to happen here. So this is going to come out and line up with that. This is going to come out, or this one's going to come out, I suppose, and line up with, come on, work with me. Ooh, careful. I think about there. Now that road's in the way, that's fine. So bring this out again. Line it up there and go down. Okay. So yeah, it's not quite following the same curve that it was once following, but what we've got is a way straight through, and I think that's going to be even better than having no way straight through. So we'll put that road back in there. We could put some stuff back here. I think we'll figure that out, but this right here, that's going to be pretty good. That road right there. That's going to take a lot of traffic away from some of the other roads, which I'm looking forward to. So let's expand the Primrose district then. Let's get it to go the whole way around here. It's going to follow the highway because it's the perfect outline for the entire district. All the way up to this road here. Oh, that just messed up a little bit. Bring it this way. Bring it down to here and across to there. Now that's just messed up a lot of my districts, but it's probably okay. Just gotta paint all this in, fill it up a little bit, and essentially hope for the best, really. So there we go. We'll bring this through to clear it up, make it all nice and neat along the highways, and I do sincerely hope this works. I do really hope we get some good stuff here with all this building up. I hope it looks good when it's done, is kind of what I'm getting at. Because it might not. A lot of things are really good ideas in theory, and a lot of plans are going to work in theory. But then in practice, you just have, it's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother ball game. So, we'll see what happens. Bring that forward, bring that forward a little bit. And there we go. Okay. So, do we want to take... I think we'll leave the policy on that avenue as well. I think you don't go into that... No. That actually does need to come off of there. Because we want people to be able to use those avenues to go around that main bit. So let's just fill that up a little bit, because I messed it up. I messed up that bit as well, good lord. So slowly. No need to rush with what I'm doing there. And we'll come across like this. Sort of down like that a little bit. That's going to be messed up, but that's fine. So there we go. That right there is probably going to be fine, I reckon. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So let's let the simulation run. We'll go ahead and start zoning some of this. I think some of that could very well be residential space. Don't think that's going to be a problem. So some of like that stuff can just be a bit weird and residential. Some of that as well. And some of this space in here as well. I know it's against a highway, but it's tucked off of these main roads, and I kind of like the idea that's going to be residential. That and all of that can actually be commercial zoning, because I think that'd be kind of cool to have all that as commercial. That in there as well. But I do think I want to sort of focus on just really bringing up the residential zoning across the board. I think that'd be really nice. So just sort of like that. These spaces here are going to be the same, just residential through and through, because I love the idea of people living down by the water. So yeah, that is all set and all ready to go ahead and build up, which I'm kind of excited for. So bring that through to there, bring this over to there, and fill up this little space just there. All right. Oh, I think I missed a bit. Yeah, I did miss a bit. There we go. So Primrose District is now set to go ahead and and build up a bit. So that's going to be kind of nice. Looking down here, I mean, this is all taking its time. In fact, a lot of this has since been abandoned, if we're honest. So might be an idea to just flick on the old Demand Master and see what happens, I suppose. Okay, so before you say anything, you can't deny that, is that the word I'm looking for? Whatever. You have to admit, even though I used Demand Master to get all this to grow, it actually doesn't look half bad. And it looks like a decent little start towards what I'm going for, which is inevitably, you know, the whole suburbs thing. So I think we're getting there. I'm really liking, you know, some of the trees around some of these areas and all that stuff. So, you know, I think it's coming along. Even though it was Demand Master that I used to make it work. It is also worth noting that this area over here is filled out beautifully and has worked exactly the way I want it to. So I'm really, really happy with the progress being made, even though the demand is slightly borked. Now here's the thing. And I'm going to come back to something I said towards the beginning, which is that, yes, Demand Master totally messes with the balance of demand in your city. However, it does eventually revert to normal. It will take some time. I mean, thus far, I've been playing for about an hour in this one session, and it was slowly reverting back to normal. It is just going to take a long time. So what I'm wondering is, what is the general opinion on Demand Master as a potential way to save time in terms of waiting for the demand? Now, obviously, before anyone says it, yes, that is going to mess with the needs of the city and thus mess with the way I manage the city. I'm aware. However, it just presents, you know, a bigger need for me to better micromanage the city. So what I'm going to ask, essentially, like I said, is what is your opinion on Demand Master? And in relation to that, what I'm going to ask is that if you see someone in the comments below who has said something that you agree with in terms of Demand Master, thumbs up that comment, because then what we have is a collection of comments that'll be towards the top that represent sort of the general consensus. And if we have like a 50-50 where, you know, 50% of people like it, 50% don't, then I don't know what we'll do. But, you know, I'm just curious about the general thoughts on it. I know a lot of people aren't keen on it. I know a lot of people don't. I don't know. I'm not going to say what people think because I don't know for sure. And I don't want to put words in all your mouths. So I'm curious. And that's why I ask. So what I want to do next, and by next, I mean next time, is I want to start building some proper suburbs out this way. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google Maps. I'm going to look at what some other people have done with suburbs and city skylines. I know I can think in my head immediately of quite a few other YouTubers who've done some amazing work with suburbs and city skylines. And I think next time I want to put a proper little dent in getting the suburbs done. Because what I'm seeing here is we can bring the suburbs right out to sort of the bottom of this hill here. And I think that'd be really, really nice. But I want to do it right. And I also want to bring some of this area out a little bit more. I think we could maybe sort of do an industrial area sort of up here a little bit, kind of like what we have here, but something a little bit bigger. Because I did say we would do that. And I think I'll just expand this industrial area a little bit more as well at some point to just look a little bit better. But I'm kind of happy with how things are going. I feel like this is starting to look the way I want it to look. And that kind of makes me happy, you know? Also, a lot of people have been keen to point out Hickory Hills and Hickory Hills right beside each other. I didn't really notice. I don't really look at district names, to be honest. I look at policies. I don't really look at names. So I'll change those eventually. We have Hickory Square up here as well. So Hickory is currently used 3 times, I think. Yeah, it's used 3 times in the city at the moment. So, oh wow. Good lord, this airport got busy. Yeah, something tells me we could really use an international airport. How busy is this? 1,800 and... What? Oh my god. Oh my god, that's busy. I did not expect it to be that nuts. Okay, fair enough. So that's what's happening there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you kindly for watching. This has been City Skylines Mass Transit Part 29. Just once more, I wanted to apologize for the delays in videos. I am working really hard to get back up to normal. Like I said in the vlog I posted recently and at the start of this video, I've just been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting, and a lot of worrying. I just want to make sure that I'm working for the right reasons. I want to make sure I'm not making videos because I'm on autopilot. I want to make sure that I'm having fun because I want that fun to translate to my videos. And if it turns out that I'm not having the fun I think I'm having, which, I mean, this was fun. I've really enjoyed what we've done, so that's a step in the right direction. But if it turns out that, you know, something isn't quite right, I want to figure out what it is and fix it to hopefully make videos better. If they're not there. I keep digging myself. I'm not finding the exact words. All right, I keep digging myself into a hole. So I'm just gonna say thank you kind of for watching, and I do mean that every time. And without any further ado, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.